Wisconsin leader fan radio network.
And that's a fact.
And KFAN.com. 1 minute and 59 seconds past the hour of 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Welcome back. It is a Thursday production of the Afternoon Aardvark on a very balmy weekday afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Guardsy produces the show. My name is Dan Barreiro, former Ink Stain Wretch, newspaper of the Twin Cities. And as perhaps most of you know by now, maybe you don't have to hate Wisconsin today. Maybe you can take pity on Wisconsin today. That's unlikely, I know, in this market. Probably you are reveling in the pain and misery.
What happened?
Of Wisconsin, a Badger, well, what do we call it? Not a monumental upset. 5 versus 12 isn't monumental, but it's a good one. It's a solid one. Wisconsin, the 5 seed, edged by the High Point Panthers in very dramatic fashion in the final minutes, 83-82. And if I understand this correctly, High Point went ahead for good on a basket, a breakaway layup from a member of the club who had not made a 2-point shot for the entire season.
Oh, it was that guy.
That guy.
That made the layup. Interesting.
He made the layup.
He ran out. Yep.
He was, I think, previously 0 for 4 from 2.
Wow.
That's almost, I get it, it's a 3-point world.
Yep.
In fact, looking at the box score, High Point took 40, made 15. I think Wisconsin made 9 threes. That ended up being the difference in the game. But that's one of those nuggets, one of those stats that
It's a great nugget.
That's as good as it gets in the big dance, right? Your first 2-point basket of the season?
No wonder his footwork looked a little off. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
He caught it on the fly.
I did, and I thought he was going to because he didn't dunk it. He kind of laid it over the top, and I thought, what if he lays it too hard and it comes right back out?
Right, or I thought maybe if he travels because he didn't put the ball on the floor.
He didn't.
He caught it on the run and took 2 big steps.
It was a good pass. It actually was a very good breakaway pass. So the Badgers are out in round number 1. They finished the season 24-11. High Point improves to 31-4. Did you see the interview with the head coach after the game?
I didn't.
Oh, my God.
That was in the transit. I've heard him on radio in the last few weeks. He's a good talker.
He was talking, and it was, nobody would play us. Nobody would play this mid-major in the regular season. We couldn't get anybody to play us. Well, maybe now I know why they didn't want to play us. Because you know what? They had to play us today, and we won the damn game.
I love it.
He was great. Yeah, he was very good. Kind of went on from there. Meanwhile, I'm trying to, now that's a good upset for a first round. First day, no question. I'm trying to get my arms around that Siena-Duke score at the half. Has the second half begun?
I think it's about to. I think they just went to their last commercial.
Siena is a 16, correct?
They are.
Duke is a 1. And Duke was down 9 at the half?
11.
43-32?
43-32.
At the half. Is that... Now, I didn't see any of that game.
Me neither. I was watching the Badgers.
So what the hell? We need help from our basketball correspondents. What happened in the first half to Duke, and is it sustainable? Or is it one of those deals where, oh, no, it's inevitable. They're going to come back and win the game by 15 or 20. Down 11 to Siena at the half. So the big dance is off to a very impressive and invigorating start. There's no question about that. We'll have some live listen-ins today. I've got, speaking of 5 versus 12, I got a 5 Vandy up on McNeese State, 38-35 at the half. I got Ohio. So we already got 2 Big Ten teams out, right? Ohio State already lost to TCU.
Yes.
66-64.
That was another good game.
Was it a good finish? Because I know the Buckeyes were down like 15 and then came back.
They came back to tie it.
And they never went ahead?
I don't know if they were ahead or not, but it was tied, and then TCU right at the end made a 2-pointer.
Meanwhile, Hoiberg makes history for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. First time they've ever won. That's their first NCAA tournament victory ever for the school, which is almost astonishing. And they didn't ease into it. It doesn't seem like they gave Troy even a little bit even a hint of oxygen. 76-47. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska is a 4 seed for the record. Louisville, a 6 seed, holds off USF 83-79. And then I think that's it on active games right now, if I'm not mistaken. NDSU, MSU is coming up at the bottom of the hour. So hopefully we'll have a live listen in there as well. By the way, did I have the right time in my pre-show tweet on Russo? Is it 5:02?
5:02 today,
okay.
from Fallness Studio.
So Russo will be with us, according to the uglydeck.com guest lineup for today at 5:02 from the Fallness Studios as we try to finish the home-and-home sweep of the Chicago Blackhawks. When we host the Blackhawks this evening, a 5:02 for him. Dr. Dan's inbox, tentatively scheduled for 4:30. We can move that around a little bit. I think we're out at 6:15 today, once again, because of wild hockey. Is that correct?
Against Chicago.
Against Chicago, as I said. Yeah, 6:15 this very afternoon. Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line is open at 646-86. That's 646-86. 320 guy writes, Duke cannot make threes, out-rebounded, no defense. In fact, early on, there were bad calls against Siena that led to 6 points for Duke to stay close. Duke looked very tight, writes Mike from Woodbury. Steve from Edina, Siena is manhandling Duke with heavy points in the paint. Is Siena big?
I don't know.
Siena have great size? Good question here from 651 guy. This might be more for you than me. Do you think Bo Ryan will get fired? I mean, you lose a game like that at Wisconsin.
Classy and gracious in defeat.
There's no question about that. So I don't know. We'll have to take that under consideration for sure. So we'll keep an eye on the games. We'll. I've got, believe it or not, a soccer controversy I'd like to wedge in today if we have time to get to it. I really would like to. I've got a Val Kilmer story to get to that's AI related that I alluded to yesterday, but kind of decided to embargo it nevertheless. And we've got another in an endless series of Dunzas today. We've got another good Dunazza Society that will be part of the conversation as well. Big Ten, among Big Ten men's basketball teams, the chalk would be Michigan, right, has the best chance to win it all.
I think so.
Do you agree with that?
I do, yeah. Number 1 seed. Seems like they've got everything. They killed teams during the regular season.
Yes. I got a very angry, smug text from my buddy Bozich, who is tracking the White Sox for the first time in his life at spring training.
That's right.
As he told us a couple of days ago. And the text was simply read, tell Wall Street Journal guy that Wisconsin lost. Now, I think he must be referring to Jason Gay.
Who's an alum
of Wisconsin. And has he written a recent bouquet to the Badger program? Because I missed it if he has. But
I don't think so.
The impression I got was that Bozich was annoyed at all the love that this particular columnist had been giving the Badgers.
Well, what's funny about, not you, but a lot of you media, is you get mad when other media talk about where they went to school. Like, everybody hates the Northwestern guys,
that's
right?
True.
Feinstein.
But we all do it.
But you all do it, which is funny. Yeah. Like, Bozich, as you mentioned, is still living off the fumes of the foot. He's probably wearing his, Sig shirt, right?
Yeah.
What do we call it? Signati? He's probably wearing his Signati right now.
That's
somewhere in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah.
But because Jason Gay, Wall Street Journal guy, went to Wisconsin and may have noted that a time or two, Bozich is done with them.
Well, maybe, I'm wondering if there was maybe it was a column recently saying, watch out for them, dark horse, or something like that. Well, the dark horse has been taken out of its misery at this point for the Badgers.
Check in on your Lakeville neighbors.
There's your shot. That's your requisite shot. You have to get that shot in. How many do they have right now?
2 at least.
2?
Yeah. There's a White Bear Lake. There's a Brooklyn Park.
Well, they can still make the comeback. At least they made the tournament.
Of course.
We're not
Absolutely.
there yet. We're not
as they
close
should
to being there at that point.
Blakemore said in the passing that he's not sure he's ever seen me happier.
Is that true?
He said it. I don't know if it's true or not, which is a little sad.
Well, here's what's funny. I read from a story, again, interestingly enough, from the Wall Street Journal. Others have written it too, though, saying that the chance for Cinderella's lessening with each year it goes by as college basketball sort of gets reformed in its latest configuration. And yet, early, day one, now again, this is just first round. We get that. But the High Point victory is impressive. If the Siena thing can possibly
that would
hold,
be insane.
I again, we've had, how many 16s have beaten ones in the history of the tournament?
Two, if I remember right. Maryland, Baltimore County beat Virginia, and Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue.
That's right.
Yes.
I have to believe this one would be bigger than that, wouldn't it?
I think just because of Duke.
Because it's Duke.
Because it's Duke, yes. Yes, it would be the biggest one.
If Duke loses this game, do you think it's possible Coach K comes out of retirement?
I do.
They demand at Duke that he comes back to right the ship. Who's the coach now? Is
John Shire, who we watched win the title in 2010.
That's true. You're right.
You and I.
That's a good point. It's a really good point.
At the RCA Dome.
Siena's up 13. They just hit a couple of free throws. It's very early. Just inside 30 seconds of the
I love watching the Siena coach. He's putting on the miles on the sideline. He's pointing everybody out, telling them where to go. Yeah, look at him. He's just pacing in the jumpsuit.
Oh, there he is. He's one of those
Green
guys.
Jr.
He's on the court.
Yeah, look at him.
You know what he is? He's early Rick Pitino too.
Okay.
Because I think Pitino is not quite as active on the court on the sidelines as he used to be, but he used to be insane on the sidelines. And there are a number of folks who are in that same classification. Look at that. Oh, I thought it was a little jump hook that was going to hit the back iron and go in, but it did not. So we're going to be, I think, very distracted by this game as long as it stays interesting. Duke can't even get to the hole. Siena's just knocking them out of the paint. Just get that weak bleep out of here. Siena. That's what they're doing. And they probably now feel it a little bit. Right.
And the pressure, you've been in those buildings.
Yeah.
The pressure to the higher seed is immense. The tension, everybody turns against you. You know you're going to be the biggest story of the tournament if you lose. You just got to get out of it alive.
Did the women's tournament start today, or is tomorrow the first day?
Tomorrow's the first day.
Tomorrow is the first day.
Yes.
And as we know, the Gopher game.
For regular games, they have some play-ins last night and today.
Right.
Yep.
For the Gophers will be the second of the two games at the barn.
Correct.
And time is about 5 o'clock, right? It depends on, obviously, the length of the first game, if there's something like overtime or whatever the case may be. Did you ever get a spread on the game?
Gophers Green Bay? I did.
You said you thought it was 20.
Yeah, it's according to
Still
somebody.
There, around there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of points.
I mean, it makes sense when it's Big Ten versus Horizon. I wouldn't bet it. I'm not allowed to bet it, but I wouldn't bet that.
No question
That's
about
just a big number.
All right, let's do this. Let's get our first pause in. As I mentioned, one guest, and then the Rubes are the guests for the inbox. Still time to email Guardsy, JG at KFAN.com. JG, is that right? KFAN.com is still your deal. So if you want to contribute, you have time to definitely get in on all of the fun. Back in just a minute, right here in the Fan.
Bo Ryan, classy and gracious in defense.
First NCAA Tournament game, Coach Klayman.
It looks pretty obvious to me that high majors need to play mid-majors during the season because they said we ain't played nobody. We played somebody now.
How'd you do it?
Feels unreal because I know how good of a team we had, but nobody would play us, just like they wouldn't play Miami, Ohio. But they got to play us in this tournament.
Coach, you were down by 10 early on. What changed?
We just settled in. We settled in. We got a hell of a team. We settled in.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and sort of semi-paraphrased, kind of accurately. That's the head coach at High Point. What is his name?
Flynn Klayman.
And he is a character. There's no question about that.
His face while he's talking is...
Yes.
You got to find it. People need to find it.
They do need to find it.
Got a little mean mug going.
It was a lot of fun. If you're just joining us, his club knocks off, as a 12 seed, knocks off Wisconsin with a late dramatic flourish. and a very nice come-from-behind victory. Of course, your guys, the coach at Siena is Jerry McNamara, who
Syracuse.
was at Syracuse, won a title there,
That's
and
right.
also worked for Boeheim. I'm looking at a quote from him coming into the game regarding preparation. We've done exactly what we've done in terms of preparation for every other game. I played in a lot of big games in this tournament, and I've coached in a lot of big games in this tournament. And when I was at Syracuse with Coach Boeheim, we always prepared the same way. I've talked about the biggest thing I've taken from him all these years is how consistent every day was. That's what I've done quite a bit now in a different way. Do it in my own way, but very normal this week to prepare just like we did for Atlantic City, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, even before this stunning first half performance in which they at the half led Duke by 11, there were rumors that he could be the guy at Syracuse.
Right.
Because they're looking for a head coach at this point.
Yep.
And as the cliche goes, you don't want to be the guy who replaces the legend. You want to be the guy who replaces the guy who replaces the legend. It's a lot easier to do it. Phil Bankston was the guy at Green Bay, had to follow Lombardi. Probably a lot of you don't know his name because it didn't work out.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
No, that's exactly it. So they do have some nice background, or McNamara has some nice background there. They were 27.5-point underdogs going into this game. 27.5-point underdogs. I don't have it. What channel is it on in your?
They're on CBS.
Oh, it's a CBS. So
804 for you.
Yeah.
And Duke has just cut it to 4. They've just cut it to 4.
They're making a move. Probably inevitable.
I love the kid in the middle of the Duke section wearing a Jalen Rose Fab 5
is
Michigan
that right?
jersey. That's
That's
great.
pretty good. Hasn't been booted yet?
Dude, he's like 12. That's great. I love it.
That's outstanding. Reminded right away, writes Chris, why March Madness is so great. Please have the Glenn Mason "You're Wrong" ready for Johnny Athletic in his next appearance, where I'm sure he'll try to convince us how much better the NBA is. I prefer, that sounds like a guy who wants that as an ESPN talking head show debate point. What's better?
Right.
The big dance or the NBA regular season? Because, by the way, that's always the comparison very conveniently made by college basketball
For
people.
college, yeah.
Let's compare the end of the season, winner take all, best of one, to NBA regular season, which makes no sense because that's easy for everybody. Now, if you want to say you like even the college basketball postseason better than the NBA, we can have that discussion. I'm not interested in debating it because I think it's so apples and orange-ish that it makes no sense to me. So if you want to debate it, if you feel better about debating it, you can, but let's be honest about something. Most of the people who want to debate it despise pro basketball. They just do. And that's legal. There's no law against it, but you'd probably be better off just saying that because it's so easy to get into this debate on the basis of the fact that, again, if somehow Siena were to pull this off, Siena does not have to beat Duke 4 out of 7 times.
Correct.
Or 3 out of 5 times. They have to beat them once. And that is the beauty of the tournament. There's no question. But it's a different kind of drama that's played out over the course of a best-of-7 series. And by the way, within those series, sometimes there are incredibly dramatic finishes and very dramatic games as well. So I'm not going to play that game. You can play it if you want, and we've talked about it over the years, usually around a big dance time. The other thing that occasionally comes up is the assumption is made that if the game is close, the game is good. And in some cases it is. In some cases it's just a close game, but neither team's playing particularly great. But we get dazzled by closeness because we're about the pools. And that's the other thing. If the college basketball bobos are honest, they'll admit that the game or the tournament itself is the perfect, what do you say, betting opportunity, office pool opportunity in a way that the NBA playoffs, for example, are never going to be.
For sure.
It's just it just writes itself. It's natural. Everybody participates either in pools where they're picking every team or every game, every outcome, or it's a lottery thing where you get certain teams on the basis of chance, correct?
Yep.
And everybody loves that.
It's camaraderie. It's the office. It's on in every office building right now. People are taking the day off, a half day.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's why it's one of our unofficial national holidays if you're a sports fan.
We don't have an on this day in sports history sounder, do we?
Don't think so.
Maybe we should get one at some point. I don't know. Today would have been a good day to have it, because today is a big one. Today, on this date, 60 years ago. 60 years ago. That's a long time, right?
Yep.
History was made in the NCAA Big Dance Championship game, a game we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Years,
yep.
Texas Western, as it was called then, shocked the world by knocking off Adolph Rupp and the University of Kentucky Wildcats in the national championship game. I think it was played in Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. And the final score was 72-65. And I know that score without even looking at it, because I've told this story before. My parents that night, shocking to me, given my dad's affinity for one of the Texas Western players, they went to dinner. I think they might even have gone into Chicago. This was when I was still living in Gary. So I'm at my dad's parents' place in their living room that had, by the way, furniture with the plastic over it.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of deal.
Yep.
Watching on what couldn't have been more than a 12-inch black and white TV. If it was even that, I don't even know what it was. It was round and it was little. And by the way, every once in a while, it kind of shorted out, and so you had to pound the floor to get it to come back. There was like a loose wire. And little Danny Barreiro, by himself, watched that entire game and rooted for the upstart Texas Western team, because one of their best players, one of their starters, I watched play in Gary. He was a guard by the name of Orson Artis, who played on that team from Gary Frable. That's why I was surprised my dad would want to miss it. He didn't see it. I watched that game by myself.
Happy wife, happy life.
And Kentucky, I should say, UTEP, Texas Western then led almost from start to finish. And, of course, that team's claim was it was the first team to start 5 black players and to win a national championship. Do you care to hazard an educated guess on who started and tied for the team lead in scoring for Adolph Rupp that night?
Wasn't it Pat Riley?
Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Pat Riley, by the way.
It was in College Park, by the way. I looked up
College Park.
Yeah, College Park, Maryland, University of Maryland.
Ball hog. Riley took 22 shots, played all 40 minutes.
Good usage rate.
8 for 22 from the floor, grabbed 4 rebounds, 1 assist. And Louis Dampier, who went on to have a very good NBA career, or ABA career, I guess I should say, also had 19 points. My guy, Orson Artis, played the whole game, 40 minutes, finished with 15 points on 5 for 13 from the field, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, and was one of the stars of a very balanced lineup. I think the Texas Western got 18 minutes out of its bench, and in fact, one of its 2 reserves, Harry Flournoy, I should say, played for another Gary, Indiana school, Gary Emerson as well. Historic, whether you had the personal connection that I did or not, an historic occasion, and it's a big one when it's 60 years, right? When we get to the even number years, we get to 50, we get to 60, we get to 70.
Yeah, I saw this earlier. It's a big one. That's
a big one, and it's been turned. There have been some great books on it. There's been at least one movie, fictionalized version. What was the name of the movie?
Glory Road, wasn't it?
That's it. That's exactly right. And it sounds like a yawner today, but then you have to understand the import of it. It's the University of Kentucky. It's Adolph Rupp, who liked white guys playing basketball. Period. End of story. And the idea that this upstart team with 5 African-American players would come in, and I don't want to say dominate, but they were pretty much ahead, as I said, most of the game, and almost from the get. In fact, I think 2 of the first 3 possessions, playing defense, they stole. I want to say it was both times against Louis Dampier. Basically stole the ball in the front court and went for easy layups. They were good, and they didn't care that they were not supposed to win. And you're not You're not supposed to do this to Adolph Rupp. It's just not supposed to happen. That was the ultimate of blue bloods. And so it's one of the great, for me, early sports memories that I could, when my parents got back, I could tell my father, he may have learned it by radio. I don't know, back in those days, carrier pigeon, that in fact, the Frable kid did good and won a national championship. That was good stuff. That's
60 years ago.
Think about that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable if you think about it.
Duke was also in that Final Four, and the Utah Redskins.
Is that what they were called?
That's what they were called back then. I don't know when they switched to the Utes.
Oh, my. Interesting. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open at 64686. Yes, Glory Road is the name of that film. I can't remember who starred as the Texas Western coach was Don Haskins, I believe.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
And it was a very young Don Haskins at that point as well.
Josh Lucas was the name of the actor that played him in the movie.
Josh Lucas, okay.
Yeah. He's kind of like a poor man's Matthew McConaughey. Like, if you can't get McConaughey, you get Josh Lucas for roles like that.
Yes, so he's like the knockoff, is what you're saying.
In my opinion.
Yeah, the poor man's.
Yeah, if he's not available, if you can't get Matthew because he's on a darkness retreat or doing something.
So I've got now a timeout in the action. Duke Siena. Duke was down 11 at the half. They are currently down 4 is what I have. It's a 53-49, I believe, is the score I just saw.
Yep.
And
how about that High Point
over
win
12
they
minutes
just
to
showed?
go.
It's their first tournament win in school history.
That's not bad.
Tubby Smith's alma mater.
Well, it's Nebraska's first tournament win in school history.
That's true.
Which is still stunning to me, even though I know Nebraska's historically been a football school. You think somewhere, somehow, they might have won a game.
They greased out a game.
And they did not mess around. I mean, they were dominant.
Once they got a hold of it.
It was a
little bit of a slow start, and then they just pounded it.
Late first half, and then once they pulled away, it was not anybody's ball game at all. Early, Michigan State, North Dakota State, and the Spartans were down 8-7. I think there was like 5 minutes to go into the ball game is what I indeed saw. Who else is Arkansas, Hawaii just started. That's kind of early. So 3 Big Ten teams to this point. We're 2-1, right? No, we're 1-2, I should say. Nebraska's got our only victory. Ohio State is out, and Wisconsin already out.
Correct. Yep. Illinois plays later tonight. Fran's red face.
Oh, that's right.
Fran McCaffrey versus Brad Underwood.
Looking forward to that.
That's a little bit later tonight. Michigan, top seed, plays a little bit later tonight. And
that'll be fun.
Like you mentioned, the Spartans are in action right now.
Alan in Afton writes, given the NIL imbalance in basketball, will a Cinderella be celebrated even more by the media or even more quickly dismissed? Like Indiana before the Q money flowed in, the team can still win if they have good coaching fundamentals and play as a team. Well, I think it all depends on how you want to evaluate success. Is it winning a first-round game, which I think is still going to happen in upset fashion? Is it you're going to make – I mean, most of the time, once we get into the tournament, we view Cinderellas or teams that make it to the Sweet 16, right, that make a run. But obviously, anytime it's 1 versus 16, you're going to you're going to make it'll be a huge story if indeed Siena was able to pull that thing off.
It is interesting that we went however many years with the tournament that it didn't happen, and now in the last 8 years we've had it happen twice.
Yeah,
like we mentioned, and now Duke has been down as many as 11, I think. The parity thing is an interesting one because you would assume that the NIL stuff really favors the big blue bloods, especially in basketball when you only need 5-6 players.
Yeah.
But maybe it's going to be more and everybody wants to play Power 5 where all the money is.
Yeah.
So like Power 5, I think gets spread out more. But do the smaller conferences have anybody left? And it seems like they're trying to prove it this tournament that, yeah, we still have dudes left. I like that they're all banding together, that the High Point coach threw in Miami of Ohio in his thing. Because I've heard it at the Final Four for years. No one ever wants to play these guys. Even if good, not good, they have to play some of them. But we see the non-conference schedules here every year. Right. They're mostly a joke, right? Nobody wants to play a good non-Power 4 team.
Well, it's the classic catch-22, right? Because what do the experts say to these mid-majors? We got to play some better teams. You don't get penalized, and they say, well, give us a chance to.
We'd love to.
And the other end of that is, well, I have nothing to gain by playing you and everything to lose if you believe in that mentality, which is what a lot of schools do, basketball and football.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. As much as I love what my guy at Indiana did, he subscribes to that same theory in the non-conference schedule.
We're not going to play anybody we don't have to.
To this point, yeah. Basically,
yes.
we're gonna just schedule a bunch of patsies, which I never love endorsing, but that's sort of the way it ends up working in both ends. 505 guy writes, "Thank God my Husker drought is over. Making threes is their recipe." That's from Nebraska guy. Sanford is a pure shooter, not an athletic team, but dangerous if hot from three. Has that been their thing all year? Are they a big three-point shooting team in Nebraska?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like most, but yeah, they can sling it.
And it's another example of Freddie Hoiberg you felt like he was an eyelash away from being fired, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and now he's got them on the map in a way that
just signed the new extension.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, well, here, again, I want to remind you of a couple of the plans the rest of the show from a guest lineup standpoint. We got Russo to talk hockey and the Wild at 5:02. And then we've got the inbox, which I've tentatively opened for, what did I say, 4:30? I think I did.
That's what we usually do.
We can move it around depending on what kind of action you get and how pleased you are with the results. But you can email Guardsy at jg@kfan.com. Believe it or not, before our first scheduled guest, we got still a large chunk. I want to talk about, have you heard about this soccer controversy?
I don't know.
Again, ordinarily, I would not have known anything about it, but it's been written in pretty vivid detail in a couple of places. So I actually do want to touch on it because there's a controversy. Basically, in this case, a result was overturned in a game, in a key game. In other words, the team that won is no longer being awarded with the victory after the fact, like 3 weeks later, which is kind of unusual, is it not?
I don't remember hearing about it.
This isn't about like vacating, as in that Luther Darville was involved back in the day. It's a very dated Gopher scandal reference, or Jan Gangelhoff was involved. I mean, it's neither of those. Neither of those sorts of situations indeed apply. Siena is still up 5. We're down to like 7 minutes and change. Should we go? Do you want to go to a quick listen in there? Because we got.
Let me see what the game is.
Oh, okay, you're prisoner to what the feed is.
Yeah, right. I think we have Duke here.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get a couple quick minutes
as they find Doty short corner far side. Back down on Harris. Doty tried to turn it around, got caught, somehow got it off to Mulvey. 6 to shoot for Schultz. Needs to get rid of it. It's Doty straight away for 3. Missed it short. And the rebound pulled in by Cam Boozer. 6:40 to play. 61-58 Siena in a 2-3 zone with a lead. Caden Boozer with a right-handed dribble at the March Madness logo at midcourt. 16 to shoot for Duke. Darren Harris bounce pass. Right elbow, Cam Boozer. Spray it out, left wing 3. Isaiah Evans missed it long. Cam Boozer another rebound. Caden Boozer straight away. Missed the 3 too long. And another offensive rebound. Evans missed the first but not the second. 4 chances for Duke, and it's 61-60.
That's now 12 offensive rebounds in this game for Duke.
6 minutes to play. Siena by 1. They've had the answer at every turn. Does this Cinderella have one more? Volafak on the left wing, holding on his right hip. Dribbles with the left hand, cross to his right, drive middle. Had it knocked away by Cam Boozer. On the ground, Darren Harris has it. Then taken right back by Volafak. Straight away, Doty, pump fake, 3 ball. Missed it. Wide to the left, and then a foul's called on the loose ball. Cam Boozer got hit, and the Siena fans are letting them hear it here in Greenville. Darren Harris holding his lower back after the play. And with 5:47 to play, there's a timeout on the floor. Siena 61, Duke 60.
Wow.
You're listening.
So obviously Duke has tied it up. They were down 11 at the half. You reminded me that apparently that's the first time in history that a 1 seed has trailed by double digits or more at the half. We've had 2 16 beating 1 upsets in the history of the tournament, but in terms of first half, what Duke did is unprecedented. So we'll keep an eye on that game pretty much the rest of the way. because that's about as dramatic as you can get for a first-round tournament. I mentioned also I want to get to some hockey, not just soccer, but some hockey as well. And we'll keep going to some live listen-ins on day one of what's already been a dramatic day in the Big Dam. All right, we got a lot of good research assistants, most of them unpaid. When is the last time that a college basketball team has attempted to win an NCAA tournament game using exactly 0 players off the bench? To this point, for Siena, they've gone with their 5 starters, one of whom, by the way, has 4 fouls.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole way. They have not used anybody off of their bench thus far. Duke just went up 63-61. There's 4 minutes to go, and Siena has the ball. And McNamara, your guy, did you see him lose his mind?
No, I was making coffee.
There was a foul call missed out on the perimeter that I think should have been called, quite frankly. But he was beyond apoplectic.
McNamara's red face?
Very red face. Yeah. There's no question about that. So
that's surprising. It's a surprising strategy against Duke. Like, I know you got to go down with your guys, but
I don't know how many they ordinarily play. Yeah, like, I'm looking at the box score. Duke's only used 2 players off the bench, 24 minutes and 9 at this point. But yeah, every point by Siena to this point scored by starters. And as I said, I think there's the 4-minute inside 4-minute timeout just took place. Duke just went up 63-61 after being down, if you're just joining us, by 11 points at the half. How are the Boozer kids doing? Looks like Cam Boozer, 18 points. His brother, 17 at this point. So 35 points between the two. So it has the feel of a game that might get away a little bit. You're definitely seeing some fade in Siena, but then again, if you're using nobody off the bench,
right,
you're asking a lot. I thought I saw something on the screen indicating that the last time somebody tried to do this was one of the old great DePaul University teams under Ray Meyer that might go back all the way to the Mark Aguirre days, I think. Terry Cummings, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's not done often.
No.
Even if you are overmatched,
right?
Most coaches say, "Well, I got to give a couple of my guys, even if it's like a 2-minute rest, I've got to do it."
So even in I think it's the Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference,
yes,
that Siena hails from, in their championship game against Merrimack, they only played 6.
Okay.
And a guy named Christian Jones played 6 minutes. Doty, 38, Mulvey, 40, Coyle, 38, Full-Fack, 40, and Schultz played 38. So every starter played at least 38 minutes, and I guess Christian Jones just went in for a minute at a time for 3 of them, because 2 of them played the full 40.
I've got a good advantage still for Siena from 3. They're 9 for 22. Duke is listed as at 5 for 25. Now, here's what's going to get the conspiracy theorists going.
Free throws?
Yes. Siena is 6 for 6. Duke is 21 for 22. No, I'm exaggerating. They're actually 12 for 14. So they do have more than double the amount of free throw attempts. I was trying to get the Duke haters going just a little bit. So we'll see if that ends up being a factor that's discussed after the ball game. I know a lot of people, though. Duke was considered the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, correct? I think that's what the committee.
That sounds right.
Determined.
Yep.
I haven't watched them enough this year. Obviously, they're good. Yeah, but I've not watched them enough to know if they are viewed as like a dominant Duke team. Yeah, potentially.
The Boozers are big time. Obviously, those are Carlos's kids. Remember, from the 2001 team that came through here.
Yes,
played pro forever.
By the way, fouls in the half. Siena 7, Duke 3. Siena 7, Duke 3. You can't blame it on Coach K. He's not there. Well, maybe he is there.
I think isn't he always there?
He probably
kind
is.
of a little bit in the minds, the hearts and the minds.
Whispering at people. Yeah, you might be right about that.
Yeah.
Another foul. That was a foul there. I don't think there's
a lot of the fouls that I've seen have come on rebounds, and because that's where their advantage is. Yeah. I mean, we even in the listening we heard that.
Yeah, that's unfortunately true. Well, I think it's a little early to go to another listen-in, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we've got time.
Vandy 54, McNeese State 48. That's a 5 versus a 12, about halfway through the second half. Arkansas over University of Hawaii as a 13 seed.
Yep.
26-11. And then looks like Michigan State, they had a bigger lead a minute ago, but now it's 7. They're still up 7 on
Bison Pride.
North Dakota State. The Spartans are a 3. And ND State, obviously, if you do that math, which even I can kind of do, it'd be a 14.
I've interviewed the Hawaii coach a lot at Final Four.
Oh, is that right?
To help Charlie Barker.
Yes.
Because he brings in a lot of guys.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I need you to talk to this guy. And he's a chairman of the
talker?
Yeah, but he's the chairman of Coaches versus Cancer, so there's that hook as well.
Right.
But he's a good dude. He's been very funny the last handful of years, though, with all the realignment. Because every coach is complaining about how much they have to travel.
Yes.
And so I brought it up with him, and I said, what's your reaction when people talk about how far they have to travel? Because by definition, Hawaii is coming, it's a 4-hour flight at least, right?
Minimum. Yeah,
pretty much anywhere
to the West Coast,
on the mainland.
Right.
Every trip they take is a long flight.
Yes, it is.
And he just got the biggest kick out of it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the greatest. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years. Now we stay a little longer. Like, I get it why they're mad about it, but it's like, yeah, guys, we have to do it. And now maybe the playing field's level because they've won their conference for the first time in a really long time.
Well, what's interesting, too, is during that last possession, Siena still got the ball. There was a loose ball foul called, and it looked like kind of a standing ovation kind of a thing. The derisive cheer, they actually called a foul on Duke. So we'll see how that goes. It just watching the last couple minutes, it just looks like offensively, Siena's just running out of stuff, and some of that might be also Duke saying, "Come on, we got to tighten the thing up." In fact, Duke's got the ball back again. Now we're at 3 minutes to go.
Look at number 4; he can't even run. He's like cramping.
Yeah,
top of the screen. This is malpractice by McNamara.
Is this like abuse? Is this coaching abuse?
It's like what KOC did to Carson Wentz.
Do you want to win or not?
Well, mix in a couple of minutes in the first half. You had a double-digit lead.
If they'd have done that, but if they'd done that, it would have been only like a 5-point lead.
You're telling me that Christian Jones couldn't have given him 3 minutes like he did in the MAC championship game?
Boy, on the boards, it's getting really ugly, too. Yeah, a lot of second-chance baskets for the Dukies at this point because they just missed 2 shots in a row, got the ball back. Oh, a nice little drive to bat. Oh, that's got to be Siena ball, yeah.
That was a terrible miss.
Well, 2:26, what do you think? Do we chance it?
Yeah, because I think we're going to have some fouls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, do you mean we go ahead and take a break, or do we come back?
I
think
we
go
can
straight
break.
to it. All right, we'll break and come back, and hopefully there'll be a little bit left for a live listen-in on what the world hopes is a dramatic, now come-from-behind victory for 16-seed Siena, which unfortunately has missed 7 of its last 8